right, Northcentral Nfused July 2019. We are joined again by our CEO and General Manager, Kevin Doddridge.
Hello.
Our Director of Safety and Loss Control, J.D. Cox.
Good afternoon.
Our Director of Marketing and Business Development, Michael Bellapani.
Hey, y'all.
And I'm your Media Specialist, Justin Jaggers. We have a lot to talk about for July. We're going to just jump right into this with Mr. Kevin Doddridge.
Yeah, July, a lot of people probably don't realize it, but Northcentral operates on a fiscal year, and probably unless you're in business or accounting, don't care a lot either way. But this is the end of our planning year, and it's when we accumulate all our financials for the year. So we're wrapping up the 2019 fiscal year, but something that I really enjoy about this time of year is we're going through our budget process. And it's not that I really love the numbers and trying to forecast revenue and all that. It just gives us as a staff and a board of directors to think strategically for the upcoming year. And our budgets usually, they do involve a lot of numbers, obviously, but usually it starts off with a discussion, kind of a narrative on where we see ourselves going. We'll probably have a budget somewhere in the neighborhood of $117 million. 85 million of that will probably be wholesale power costs, and the rest will be in maintenance, CapEx type projects. We are going to once again ramp up our maintenance. Mm-hmm. That's just really necessary, especially in lieu of some of the rain that we had earlier in the year and the hot weather. We've ramped up our right-of-way quite a bit, the trimming of the trees. And if you've been in the Olive Branch area, you probably noticed that. Brought in at least, I believe, 40 additional contract employees to try to get all that growth managed before we get to the winter season and ice can potentially affect it. So you've probably seen a lot of trucks. We watch them. JD watches them to make sure they set up safely on the roads. They're doing the correct flagging as they're supposed to do. You'll see a lot of brush where they've been cutting, and they may not get back to it immediately. But we're trying to understand the plight of the yard owner that wants to cut his yard and get everything ready for the 4th, and try to get a lot of that ground up and out of the way so they can mow and keep their yard in good shape. We're probably going to have a little bit of rate action this year, but anything that we do will be under 2%. And if we look back, I think it's been roughly 5 years ago since we did a rate increase that even surpassed 1%. TVA, our rate regulator, looks at indexes, inflationary factors, the cost of doing business, and usually gives us what I call a pre-approved rate increase every year. And what's unique with Northcentral is we rarely take it. We haven't had, except once in the last 15 years, any rate action that surpassed half of 1%. So we usually stay well within the confines of that pre-approved amount and try to do just small increments to take it easy, on our member. Safety is something that we talk about every month. It's very important to us, and we're going to revisit it in July, make sure that it stays forefront, and renew our commitment to zero incidents. Throughout the country, there's a commitment to zero contacts, where you contact a line, make contact. But we really want to expand that to anything. We think that's important not just for our employees, but for our members that come to visit our facility, for our members that are in contact with or maybe driving by these right-of-way crews or our crews doing work. We look out for their safety as well. It's just another example of how we're ingrained in this community and care about the community. To share with you briefly an example, and this happens occasionally. We had an agitated consumer in our lobby last week, and I was made aware of this. And after unnerving enough of our employees, we actually called law enforcement, not to make an arrest, but just to observe the scene. And I think JD and some others probably went down there as well. We may overreact there sometimes, but I would rather do that and assure that nothing bad happens. And just to our members that come into our facility quite a bit, it does unnerve our employees if you come in, and I know the visit with us may not always go your way, and you may be upset, and you may show that you're upset, and that's okay within reason. But if you're upset and you go maybe back out to the parking lot and then you re-enter the building and you don't act as though you intend to leave, maybe some of your language is not really appropriate, then it kind of, adds to the anxiousness of our employees. And when that happens, we feel necessary to bring in additional people to make sure that really doesn't escalate.
Well, it's just imagine what would happen if it was happening at your workplace and it was your coworkers or you. And I think you might
Absolutely.
might understand a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, it's just like Kevin said, when you talk about zero incidents and we look at those as far as our employees go, that really does affect our greater community, just like the incident that Kevin just described. There were other members in our lobby as well. How does that behavior and the things that go along with that, how does that affect them? So really, by focusing in on zero incidents, it's not just about our employees, it's about the larger community, the general public, and everything that we do internally like that, it definitely positively affects other people in our community.
To a lesser extent in our budget, we're going to look, once again, you heard me talk about the fiber build out. We don't have a lot of capital money budgeted for fiber this year because this year is going to be very much a planning year. As we try to plan the best way to roll it out, get the business model set up, there'll be some money spent on fiber. But right now, and as people ask, when do we think we can roll out a product? Every day we get a little closer. We don't want to sit there and try to throw out a bunch of dates and kind of get expectations too high. But we are making progress. We're making progress to try to deliver a product that I've got to say disappointingly that a lot of people don't think we can deliver. And as I say, if we can't deliver it, if it puts our member ratepayer at risk, then we won't do it. But it is a little disturbing when we have certain leaders in the state and even in Washington that doubt whether we're able to do it or even whether we should do it. I think, contrary to some other people's comments, that electric co-ops are a long-term solution for fiber to the home. All you have to do is look at a map of the state of Mississippi and see that electric co-ops cover 85% of the landmass in the state. 82 or 85. It's right in there. Don't want to overdo it too much. But and in each of those co-ops, in that 80+% of the state, we're in the community. And so what we're trying to do is provide a service and a product that is what our community wants from us. And I don't know, if others seem to think that we're unable to do it or shouldn't, maybe that just makes the challenge all the greater.
All right. So no more numbers to throw at us?
No more numbers. Until next month, I can tell you how we fared.
We're counting on our fingers. I couldn't reach 15 million.
So that wasn't your budget request?
No, it was not.
Okay, great.
No, it was not my budget request. All right. So as we move in, we're filming this on July 2nd, but in 2 days. So hopefully this will be posted tonight so that you can catch these safety tips on this upcoming holiday that we have. JD, what do you have?
Got a couple things to talk about. Just kind of wanted to, Kevin had referred to how many right-of-way contractors that we're having right now. I was very encouraged. Just North Central's commitment to safety and what it expects as far as safety out of our contractors. The other morning before they went out, 30 of them were at one safety meeting. And one of the highlights that they were talking about was really controlling traffic. Make sure that you were visible to ongoing traffic so you could really communicate to oncoming traffic what they needed to do to get through the work zones safely. And just to see that level of commitment by them, being so visible and out on the streets and could have, so many effects on our members, I thought that was very encouraging. Really did appreciate that coming from them. Had a couple of community events that we attended last week and done some safety demonstrations with our safety demonstration trailer. And if you've never seen that, I think it's a very impressive tool that we use just to get across safety information to our members. Went out to McKesson, one of our great members, had a great visit with them. I think their employees, they had a safety day there. They really did enjoy that. Went down to Batesville and spent some time with MDOT. When they're working around our utility lines with tractors, heavy equipment, things of that nature, they certainly did appreciate the information that we provided. And then just Saturday, we had the Bonheur Sounds of Summer, where we were down there. It was a pretty good attended event. Had the rain hit us just right as the event was starting. But hey, we endured, and it was a great time. We really enjoyed it.
We need to get you a concert tour T-shirt where you take the safety tour.
Well,
because this goes all over the place.
It's really personifies the commitment to safety, awareness, and things that North Central has, and really just presents a good picture. To present what some of those situations can be like. And, when you show it to people, they really get a sense of the scale of it, and they just really do appreciate it, and we certainly enjoy it. A few tips for 4th of July coming up. We got a few safety tips for fireworks, and then a few for cooking. One, as far as the fireworks go, if you're going to use some fireworks, make sure it is legal. Some areas in the county it is legal.
That's a great start.
It's not legal where I live, but that didn't stop some people.
Yeah, and in some cases it's not. So make sure if you're going to use some fireworks, number one, it's legal. You don't want to get in trouble like that. And then really make sure, if you have some pets, if your neighbors have pets, make sure you're considerate of people's animals, because sometimes, we're out there having fun and things are blowing up everywhere, but the pets really don't believe it's that much fun. They're out there, just kind of freaking out. So please be aware of them and take steps to ensure that they're going to be happy and they're safe if you're going to have a bunch of fireworks going off. Always have adult supervision. And here's a big one, especially for the younger children. Even sparklers are dangerous. A lot of people, they just
that just blew your whole holiday.
I think I'm just disqualified for everything you've mentioned.
Well, sometimes it's I can't help it, but when I'm going through these things and just I just hear that wah wah wah, the whole Debbie Downer thing there you think about, and so. But anyway, it is important. A lot of the younger children enjoy the sparklers. We just need to make sure that we keep a close eye on them and make sure they don't get into trouble with them. If a firework malfunctions, don't go in there and try to relight it. If it doesn't work, just leave it alone. Stay away from it. Don't alter them, twist them together. All of those good things. Those are no-nos. And here's a big one. Certainly don't hold it, and certainly don't point it at anyone. So, the old bottle rocket wars and all of that, those things are probably not a good idea. So make sure we don't do that.
I might as well just stay home and just read a book.
But not to make like those are
absolutely
good comments that JD made, and
yeah,
I think that probably just to wrap it all up, I would need adult supervision.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, this time of year, it's normally dry, and we don't have that problem, so we shouldn't have the risk of wildfires like we normally do with fireworks and all that.
Yeah, because we've had a tremendous amount of rain. It's definitely not as dry as
They're
it
calling for
usually
more
is,
on the
that's
4th
for sure.
as well. As of
Absolutely.
right now, you know how that changes.
And then to wrap it up on the cooking front, if you have a gas grill and you go to light it, make sure you open up the top or the lid of it before you light it. Make sure you don't have any grease built up in the trays that you pull out on the bottom. If you do, dump that out. Make sure you have a kid and pet zone free area around the grilling. I know that's tough to do, but you got a hot grill. Certainly don't want a young kid to come up there and touch the grill or something like that. And then avoid loose clothing while you're grilling. If you don't lift the lid up and you go to light it and the big fire rolls out and you got the big extra large T-shirt on, there's a chance that you could be out there rolling around with somebody trying to throw a blanket on top of you to put you out. So make sure you don't do that either. And besides that, enjoy the 4th if it's possible after you do all those things you're not supposed to do.
You can go to the City of Olive Branch. I'm sure you'll mention that and watch someone else do fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's a good lead-in, unless you had something.
Nope, that's it.
Well,
I've bummed everybody out of
to lift your spirits. There is a big fireworks show sponsored by the City of Olive Branch, and that's in Olive Branch City Park. Thursday, if you're able to catch that, it's a spectacular fireworks show, and I think every community that we've got has a fireworks show here or there, either sponsored by a church or or that municipality. But so Justin and I just got back not long ago from Washington D.C. as advisors on our annual youth tour trip to D.C. So we had 16 representatives from Northcentral's service area.
81 from the state.
Yeah, 81 high school juniors in the city, in the nation's capital. And I can't tell you enough how valuable this program is for these students. And it lets them see how their government works at a national level, kind of gives them a perspective of the co-op footprint across the 47 states that we serve. So to see all those kids having a good time and fellowshipping with each other and being able to see the sites that they get to see, it was phenomenal. And I'd like to offer a huge word of appreciation to Congressman Michael Guest. He took time out of his morning on Capitol Hill one day to give us an exclusive tour of the Capitol. We actually got our kids on the floor of the House of Representatives.
They say that, the statistic is 0.1% of tourists in Washington get to go to the floor.
Yeah.
And that's an elite group of of people that got to see this. And so definitely, if you're a high school junior, you have a high school junior at home, encourage them to be a part of this. So.
Yeah, and we'll be coming around to our schools. We'll start the process. It's almost like baseball season. Once you wrap it up, you start it back up again. I'll be going around to the schools in late August and September to do assemblies. We'll have information in our Today in Mississippi, as well as you can just email us. We'll be able to get you information probably starting in August on the program and how we'll recruit our new upcoming class. So but good times there, and we're kind of in the midst of election season. We've got a primary coming up on August 6th. The voter registration deadline, we're coming up on it real soon, and that is July 8th, 5 p.m. So make sure that you're able to have your voter registration. You may have moved, you may have changed addresses, or you may not have had the opportunity to because of your age. So upcoming people who will be 18 need to get to their clerk's office and fill out their voter registration forms. You can also go to the Secretary of State's website. I believe that's sos.ms.gov. To download the voter registration forms. And also we have those forms here. North Central has the voter registration forms and the addresses, and we'll be glad to even mail them for you if you come in and fill them out. So be sure to do that. Absentee voting is open. As many of you know, Mississippi does not have early voting. We have absentee voting. So if you're unable to vote in the primary election on August 6th, you'll be able to vote absentee until August 3rd in person, and then by mail-in ballot, I think the deadline is August 5th, the day before the primary. So check out your Chancery Clerk's office to be able to do that, and make sure that you stay abreast of all of the offices that we'll be voting on, which are statewide and countywide. We alluded to this earlier, but we will be having our Member Appreciation Days on July 24th through the 26th. That's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's just a day that we're going to highlight the importance of our members and how you drive this cooperative and your role. We'll provide some giveaways. We'll have some food.
I think, on Wednesday the 24th, we will at least be having Coffee and Donut Day.
Yeah.
So that you can come by for coffee and donuts pretty much the entire day. And I think we'll be having that through a local bakery and not just something from a national chain that's shipped in. We're going to have it made fresh from our service area. So, but
Community donuts.
Do what?
Community donuts.
Community donuts. There you go. And then, so on Wednesday, July 24th at 10 a.m. and at 2 p.m., we will be hosting a 2-hour fraud prevention workshop. We're actually working with the Olive Branch Police Department. They're going to help us out with that. And then, of course, so I will be presenting. Our IT director, Ken Morris, will be presenting as well on cybersecurity, and then the Olive Branch Police Department will help you out with what to do if you become a victim of fraud or scams. And then Thursday the 25th, we'll be working on a energy efficiency workshop, how to save money and be a little bit more green around your house. And then on Friday the 26th, we will be having a full family cookout, complete with hot dogs, chips, sodas, bounce house, and
door prizes.
And JD will be doing safety demonstrations with our demonstration trailer. So we will have something for you to do just about every day that week. So,
and we're looking forward to this. This is the day we get to celebrate, the beginning of our fiscal year, and also celebrate our membership, and it leads into our annual meeting in October. But we look forward to this, and also on that Thursday we'll be hosting the Bonheur Chamber Luncheon. Yeah. So the energy efficiency workshop will probably be a little bit shorter than the 2-hour window, and we'll have that in a different location. But nevertheless, come by each day, register for the door prizes that we have, and come meet the employees of your cooperative. So. We're also in the middle of our campaign leading up to the Musicians for Bonheur album release. So we've had a couple of visits already to Bonheur.
Yeah, part of what we've been doing, first off, musicians, I know we've talked about this in several months this year, but Musicians for Bonheur, we utilize the talents of about 40 local artists and bands that donate songs for a compilation CD. We will be releasing that in September. But we also connect those musicians and the Northcentral employees with the patients and families at Bonheur. And we've done 2 hospital performances so far. We brought 3 acts every time, and then they perform in the lobby and then go up to meet the kids. And the first one was we had who else? We had Robin X, we had Black Hippie Band, and who was the third one? I'm trying to remember, and it's going to bug me. Who did you follow around that first visit?
Oh, I followed around it was
Chris and Daphne.
And Daphne,
and then the second was last month, and we had Danny Cosby and Jody Ross and the Everdeens, and they got to perform. But I would love to ask you about this because we didn't get much time to talk because everything's been busy this past month. What did you do when you visited? Because you were there for the first visit.
Well, I really didn't know what to expect, and then sitting in that common area and listening to the performances, you had not only patients come in, but their families, their siblings, and then the nursing staff and doctors coming through there, and they'll just stop and listen to the music, and of course, for most of us, music hits us in a certain way and can lift us up. And then all of a sudden, they said, "Do you want to go up to the rooms and visit a couple of patients?" And I jumped at the chance, and we went up there with Chris and Daphne, and being able to the first patient we visited was a teenager, and she made a request for a song, and Chris just immediately picked up his guitar and hit that first chord, and the look in her eyes went from pain to joy, and it was really special.
Yeah. And these guys haven't been yet. They're going in the next couple months. They'll be on visits. But
has Free World performed yet? Do I get to go on the Free World Day?
You get to go on the Free World Day. That will be great. I think that Free World Day might have been loaded up with employees. I think everybody was excited to hear that one.
He gets a shaker to shake along to Ripple.
No video, please.
But no, it's. I will tell you, because we are working on filming this and showing this to the public. And actually, in this, I haven't told you guys about this, but there was I followed around the second visit was Danny Cosby and his guitar player, and they were. There was a patient that was walking around the hallways, and I think they're just trying to give him some exercise. And one of the things that they tell you at Bonheur is don't ask what the ailment is, don't ask what they're being treated for, just keep it positive and focus on the positive stuff. So this guy was walking around with 2 nurses, but he was listening to "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. And so when they got back to his room, he wanted him to visit him, and so they played "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson, and he started dancing. He couldn't move around much, but he was dancing in the bed, and he was doing some Michael Jackson, his best Michael Jackson moves, and it was incredible. He was really enjoying it. So we'll hopefully be putting together that film in the next few months, but we expect a release in September for the CD, and we've got. I did my inventory today. We have 37 acts confirmed on this CD so far, and I'm working on 3 more. That's it. So you're looking at Allie Wallace, Black Hippie Band, Brendan Valines, Ed Harris, Eric Hughes Band, the Everdeens, Falling Out, Fast Mothers, Fear the Sparrow, Fever Tree, Finger Trick, Free World, Grape, The Heavy Eyes, Jeff Hewlett, Jody Ross, John Wright, Knowledge Nick, Lately David, Merrick Koch, The Privilege, Amy Rodell Turner, Mississippi Stomp, Paul Thorne, Rice Drury, Robin X, Skinny Powers, Tyke T, Under the Radar with Bravado, Chris and Daphne, Corey Taylor Cox, My Friend Chris, AM Whiskey, Danny Cosby, and J.W. Williams. So far.
Wow.
You should take a deep breath now.
Yeah. I was using my radio voice. those quick inhales.
Yeah, it's a great project, and we're looking forward to this and the involvement. And just follow our social media channels for more information, and then we'll be rolling out how you can get this album when it's released in September. And just appreciate the work you put into this. It's really cool.
It's you see why we do it now, and that's what's the important thing is this just that connection. But you can find out more at musiciansforlebonheur.com, and we're going to be working on getting local businesses involved, and of course offering this online so that anybody can listen to it, because this is truly some great music, and I'm really looking forward to the product that we put out with this. So, all right.
Well, real quick, just everybody should be getting in the next couple of days the new issue, the July issue of the Today in Mississippi, and you'll have some interesting news in there. That we made an announcement in there that starting September we're going to turn that into a magazine. Something we've wanted to do for a long time, and it's going to give us more opportunities to feature local pages. It's going to hopefully make the appeal a little stronger to some more columnists and advertisers, and provide a better product for the member. But along those lines, we want to hear your voice. So there are some calls that are going out, some emails that are going out from NRECA Market Research. So if you get one of these calls, I encourage you to give us your input, because we consider this an investment in this publication going forward. And this is a publication we've had since 1948.
Huge circulation.
Yeah. Kevin told you about the footprint that we've got in the state of Mississippi. So the distribution of this is wide. We want to know what you want to read, whether it be weekend getaways in Mississippi or enhancement to the outdoor section, whatnot. We want to hear your voice. So if you get those calls or emails, please take the time to do that. And again, in this month's issue, we've got another feature, and it's a congratulatory feature on J.D. Cox. He graduated the NRECA MIP program, which is the management internship program. So congratulations to you there. That's a huge accomplishment.
Appreciate that. It just, I certainly do appreciate it, but it just shows Kevin's commitment, to continuing employee education. And, it's just really nice to be able to bring that back home to benefit our members. And that's really what it's all about. But on a personal note, it was just very gratifying, and appreciate so much being able to attend and be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. And so y'all check out that issue, give us your feedback. And as always, if you have any feedback, or if you're not getting the Today in Mississippi, let us know. You can email us at podcast@northcentralepa.com, or for any general feedback on this. And just real quick, if you take the time to listen to the podcast, please do us a favor and rate us.
Rate, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. We're trying to improve every day, so your feedback is important.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right, we will see you guys in August. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks.
Be sure to follow North Central Electric Power Association on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. As always, you can visit us at www.northcentralepa.com. Pay your bill 24 hours a day and monitor your electrical usage with the North Central app, available for Apple and Android devices. Download now for free on iTunes and Google Play.